Hi, beautiful people. I have a little one here. um, she's like in Twilight Zone, so we may be interrupted, but hopefully not. You can see the little hand. I think is so cute. She always loves to play with my hair. But it's day 5 of the gathering place here, and we have had some good feedback on people using it later to just kind of ground and feel connection with people. And I feel like, sometimes recordings that I've watched with other intuitives that I know, and just online group places to share space for some, good quality connection and energy work, they seem to be timeless. So I hope that whenever you're watching this, however you're watching this, it meets you in the place exactly where you need it. And I know today has been a little bit of a challenge. I'll try not to be too chatty. But, I'm a single mom, and I have 5 little ones, and I have 2 different partners. So 3 of my 3 older children live about 7 blocks from me, and their dad and I co-parent. And the baby 2 girls, I do solo, and their dad is not in our life. So it's been not, I wouldn't say so much a challenge, but more like trying to be creative, trying to create a life where I feel authentic and our choices and our way of living, and really trying to regroup and always creating. And with this coronavirus, it's really just brought to the forefront everything that I want to create for my life. But that said, I went out for a little while to get some food today. Sorry, one of my daughters is calling. I went out to get food today, and we're on a strict budget. It's just like, we live basically like paycheck to paycheck, which, it works for us right now. We're not going without. We have a good support system of friends and family, and we make it work. But while we were in there, I got the last whole chicken so we can make soup and do all these things. I saw another single mama whose babies were younger than mine, and she didn't have enough money for the food that was in her cart. Basic freaking necessities of diapers and baby food, apples, meats. There wasn't anything frivolous in there. It wasn't like she was buying things that she didn't need, and it made me so sad. I've been there. I've totally been there. And within recent years, and watching her face, I had no extra to give, and those around her didn't have extra to give. And the cashiers were extremely kind, and they took her to her own little private line with another cashier to go through her cart to see what she could take. And it just made me, and it makes me teary now, like seeing her face of just complete stress and sadness, and her 2 little babies there. You could tell she was, tallying up in her mind exactly what it was she needed. And then our my Anouk and her little boy, he's probably about 2 or 3, said hi to one another, and she just looked at me, and I smiled, and just acknowledged one another, and she connected with me and my babies, and me vice versa. And then she went back to doing the job of being a mom to provide. And in our communities right now, it's always been there, but we're really seeing the need to take care of our elders, those who don't have a lot of money, or who are losing the money that they would normally bring in. And it's kind of like, what do we do? And it's really letting us look, how can we depend on one another? And how can we create community from this time period and moving forward to include everyone, that everyone can be helped, everyone can be provided for, and, how can we make that better? And, connecting to the earth and growing more food and connecting with hunters, for eating meat. I know my family, we can't just eat vegetables. It does not jive with our system. So, all things to think about and all things to celebrate, that, I was able to get the last whole chicken in the store, that I was able to get food for me and my family, that I can get diapers next week when we need them. Today, it's starting to hit where try not to, fall into the waves of panic that seem to be around the fear. I just want to connect with people and feel massive amounts of love and support and connect to the earth and, generate more love with this. This is what it's, that one love mantra that we hear all the time. I really want to put that out into the world. And, it's, they always say it begins at home. It begins with ourselves and at home and our communities. And right now, our communities are really coming together while also having to practice social distancing. And this is where I love the avenue of social media and online. Oh, that's a lot. So we are going to chant. If you sing, sing with me. And if you don't, just, ground yourself to wherever you are, the outside earth, on your couch. I'm sitting here nursing a little baby, and I have my other one. You can see her. She is on her little show she's watching, being very patient with mama. So we are going to be chanting Loka Samasta Sukhi no Bhavantu. And it's, may all beings be free and have peace. And may those actions and thoughts that I have contribute in some way to that peace and to that freedom. That's what that means. I have chanted this. If this is your first time, if you've been here before, you've heard this, but I've chanted this since about 2011, 2012, when it was first introduced to me in a yoga class on New Year's Eve, and we chanted it with one another as a group until, that's how we rang in the new year. And every New Year since, I've done that, not so much in studios, but at my home. And when I gave birth to my little Sonoy here, I had her at home in my bed, which is me and my Anuk. And my midwife came at the last minute, caught her just as she came out. And I had that chant on, this chant going, Loka Samasta Sukhi no Bhavantu, while she came out. And I felt so alone for a moment. And I just prayed, to the divine and ask that I please not give birth by myself. I had chosen to move forward and having a home birth and doing it on my own, because my partner had not wanted to be involved. And, I didn't want to be by myself. And I just felt my ancestors in that room that night. And this chant allowed me to connect to the women friends that I had that had begun praying as I had texted, I'm in labor. And they, also were doing their own mantras and chants. And this was one of the ways that they contributed. So you can tell I'm a little bit teary today. It's a lot to take in, everything that's happening. And I don't want to fall into fear. And I have such a beautiful home right now with friends. And family and friends are constantly checking in with me and me with them. So it kind of reminds me of, birth. We're rebirthing it in a new and different way. And this rebirth, you know, reminds me of my own birth with my Sonoe. I wasn't alone. I had my ancestors and I had the divine, you know, whether you call it God or you call it, Allah, if you call it goddess, if you call it God, whatever you call it, you know, it is the divine source. It is from which we are created. And I have heard for a long time, you are loved and you're protected, and that is your power. So this is me, real, just putting it out there. And of course, this is why I started it, so that we could all connect with one another. So with teary and snottiness, I will begin. And yeah, cry with me if you want. Sometimes you gotta let the tears spill. Okay, beautiful people, let's find a place to ground. I just said I had a bad connection and a pause. So just find a comfortable position to sit in, lie down in, wherever you feel most comfortable, whether inside or outside. And let's just take this time. Try and cover up a little bit. There we go. Loka samasta sukino bhavantu. 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 thank you for joining me. Thanks for listening to chanting, to the chat. I just hope that you are blessed today, that you reach out and connect with people that you love. And I will see you tomorrow, 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. If you missed this, I'm also posting it on my YouTube channel. You can find that in the link. It's on my website, onwardwitchandbeyond.com. I'm on Twitter, Onward Witch, and also, depending on where you're watching this, Onward Witch and Beyond on Instagram, and also Onward Witch and Beyond on Facebook. Yeah, okay, so much love. Be people. Peace.